The Week 10 matchup between the Denver Broncos and Las Vegas Raiders showcased two offenses operating under opposite principles. Denver thriving through structure and sequencing, and Las Vegas leaning heavily on vertical variance. Statistically, Denver achieved near-ideal offensive balance, calling 52.6% pass plays and 47.4% runs. That even distribution kept their expected points added EPA per play close to neutral, with a manageable 0.02 EPA per pass and only mild regression on the ground. The Raiders skewed pass-heavy at 57%, yet their efficiency cratered, 0.70 EPA per pass and 0.30 per rush. Denver's blend of play action, screen balance, and rhythmic sequencing allowed them to sustain drives even when explosive plays were absent, while Las Vegas's tilt toward passing magnified their inconsistency. On long yardage downs, Denver succeeded 21% more often, reflecting superior play action design and drive continuity. They also dominated short yardage situations, averaging plus 24 yards per game and a 66.7%. Get back on track. Right behind efficient offensive line leverage and disciplined interior blocking. In contrast, Las Vegas posted 3 yards per game in those same sequences. The Broncos' rushing structure, despite a modest 3 rushing yards over expected REO, outperformed the Raiders, 14 thanks to higher yards before contact per attempt, plus 0.73 and more effective interior blocking. Even when facing heavier defensive fronts lightbox usage, only 40.7% compared to the Raiders' 44%. Denver's ground game retained stability through zone-based consistency and adaptable sequencing. Passing efficiency further illustrated Denver's control of tempo. Bo Nix's 2.94 second time to throw reflected slightly longer developing route concepts than Geno Smith's 2.61, but with fewer negative plays. Denver also utilized play action on 23.3% of dropbacks, over 8 percentage points, more than the Raiders, leading to steadier yards after catch numbers and a cleaner pocket presence. The higher time to throw with a low sack rate highlighted the Broncos' use of layered routes and controlled protection, not simple short game dependence. Las Vegas's quicker reads did little to improve consistency, as their protection regularly collapsed under disguised Denver pressures. Route-level splits emphasized the structural difference between both offenses. Denver's in breaking route tree, led by Pat Bryant, plus 3.9 receiving EPA, plus 9 yards after catch over expected, attacked seams and crossers with precision, exploiting the Raiders' man-zone match vulnerabilities. Brock Bowers mirrored that for Las Vegas plus 2 PF3, receiving EPA on seam routes, but his usage was isolated and volume limited. The Broncos out breaking and vertical patterns built on balance, with Bryant's plus 3.9 vertical EPA and Franklin's efficient tight window work producing controlled explosives. Raiders receiver Trey Tucker generated plus 1.5 EPA on deep outs, but his efficiency dropped sharply on inside breaking concepts. Las Vegas's most efficient screen work came from running back Ashton Janty plus 0, but receiving EPA plus 21 YAC over expected, which functioned more as a reactive counter to Denver's pressure than a consistent defensive tool. Spatially, Denver generated most of its positive EPA between the hashes plus 2, 0 from Franklin and down the seams plus 3, 9 from Bryant, confirming a high percentage intermediate system built on crossers, seam digs, and tight end screens. Las Vegas operated mostly outside the numbers, relying on isolation throws to Raheem Mostert plus 2 Trey EPA and Bowers plus 1.14 EPA. This boundary dependence limited their ability to stretch coverage horizontally. Denver's integrated play action and motion schemes further enhanced their efficiency. Motion was used to stabilize spacing and disguise tendencies, while Las Vegas used it primarily to identify coverage. When the Raiders' motion mismatches failed to materialize, their EPA collapsed rapidly, reflecting their dependence on designed matchups rather than adaptable structure. At the quarterback level, Bo Nix maintained composure and situational integrity throughout. His EPA variance remained narrow, 1.26 on deep throws to 0.15 on intermediate attempts, demonstrating system stability and decision consistency. Geno Smith's efficiency oscillated dramatically, peaking briefly on intermediate gains plus 4.9 EPA, but collapsing under pressure, 1.13 EPA per pressure dropback. Nix's 0.28 stability index, compared to Smith's 0.57, underscored a fundamental difference. Denver's approach mitigated volatility through design, while Las Vegas's offense depended on high-risk vertical shots. Denver's passing game flattened its EPA curve across zones, producing sustainable drives. The Raiders' production came in isolated spikes, not continuity. Defensively, Denver's cohesion was even more striking. Their true defensive value plus 0.38 dwarfed the Raiders plus 0.215, anchored by a pass rush balance index of plus 0.227. The edge tandem of Nick Benito and Jonathan Cooper controlled tempo, generating 33% and 13% pressure rates, respectively, without sacrificing gap discipline. Denver's front compressed pockets through four-man pressure while the safeties, Jeremy Chin and Jamal Adams, eliminated crossers and swing routes. The result was a defensive EPA of 0.52 per play compared to Las Vegas's 0.31. The Raiders' deep coverage unit, led by Q Blue Kelly and Isaiah Polamau, 6.5 combined EPA on deep targets, held firm vertically, but the linebackers hemorrhage EPA on intermediate routes. The Broncos' defensive layers, edge containment, slot discipline, and late safety rotation, snapped together fluidly, while Las Vegas's structure fractured between front and coverage. In every situational context, long versus short yardage, light VCs, stacked boxes, quick versus extended dropbacks, the Broncos demonstrated integrated, self-reinforcing design. Denver's offense succeeded through balance and anticipation. Its defense suffocated by compression and synergy. The Raiders, built around individual matchups and vertical aggression, found temporary bursts but no continuity. The plus 0.23 true defensive edge in Denver's favor reflected more than statistical dominance. It captured a philosophical divide. Denver operated as a cohesive, disciplined organism, a Harbaugh-style team defined by sequencing, leverage, and timing, while Las Vegas functioned as a collection of talented components disconnected from one another. In a league built on efficiency and adaptability, the Broncos' structural precision and schematic balance made them the clear victor.